Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick video showing you how to use our MIPS emulator to simulate your Comp 541 final projects. The point of this emulator is that when you're flashing a project onto the board to debug, it can take upwards of 5-10 minutes per flash, whereas using our emulator, it'll happen pretty much instantly, and so this will end up saving you a lot of development time. Right, this is a Java application, so it works on macOS, Linux, and Windows. I'm going to first show you how to install it on macOS and Linux, and then I'll show the Windows instructions. The first thing is that my environment right now is Ubuntu. I'm currently in an Ubuntu shell in Windows, and this is happening via WSL2. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. TLDR is I am just running this in Ubuntu right now. And macOS, it would look in exactly the same since macOS is also Unix. Right, for macOS and Linux, I'm going to copy the automatic command and run it. And right before I do, I want to actually show I currently don't have the MIPS emulator installed right now. I'm going to run the command. And what this is going to do is it installs a guaranteed compatible Java version. And maybe, it might work with or without that, but this is guaranteed going to be compatible. Once you're done running that, copy this command, run that. And now it'll be installed. You can run this command, mips-m, and that'll load up the project. And I'll just show real quick that it does work. Let me do that. And then it opened up on my second monitor. And so it does work. Right. So that's how to install on macOS and Linux. On Windows, it'll be pretty much exactly the same. You're just going to do it manually. We're going to first download the MIPS emulator from this page. You'll download this file. I already have that here. So it's going to go to your Windows downloads directory. And then on Windows, I'm going to go to PowerShell now. You're going to cd to downloads. And then once you have followed these instructions to download a compatible Java version, you simply do java-jar MIPS emulator. And this will do the same thing. And we just load up this. And you see that it also works on here. Right, go ahead and pause that. I'm going to go back to Ubuntu now. The install instructions are only different for macOS and macOS, Linux, and Windows, but pretty much everything else, like how to use it, is going to be the same for both OSs. So once we're on usage, which is going to be here, we need to actually use the program. So to do that, we need to set up a couple of files. Let's suppose, so currently this directory has files for Rubik's projects and catsAndDogs. I'm going to show you what the directory looks like. If we look at the directory, you obviously need to provide to the emulator your 4 memory files: bitmap memory, data memory, instruction memory, and screen memory. And there's only one more additional file that's required, and this is to configure a project. And that's going to be the project configuration JSON file. I'm going to cd into this directory. So I'm going to assume you've already set up this directory, and then you at least have your 4 memory files. And then once you have that, you can simply go to our page, go to source, test projects, catsAndDogs, go to this JSON file, and just download it, and then put it in the same directory. They all have to be in the same folder. Right. Once you have that, this file pretty much doesn't have to change at all. You probably are not going to make most probably not going to have to make any changes. I'm going to open this up in Vim, and then we're going to see what's inside. Pretty much all of this can stay the same. Project name, you can change that if you want. It doesn't really do anything. Author. What the file does is it basically tells it's given like the 4 memory files. You're just providing a little bit of like metadata about it, I guess. The first thing is instruction memory. Give it the file path so the program knows what your file name is. And so if your file name is not imem.mem, you can change that here in the JSON. You can rename it here if you want. Or you can simply change your file name to be imem.mem. Right? And the other thing that you can do here is configure start addresses. So all of these start addresses, for example, for data memory and screen memory, these are addresses from the project specification, so you probably don't want to change these. yeah, pretty much no one's going to remap their data memory or screen memory. So all of this is going to stay the same, unless you're using different file paths, which is easy to change. Keyboard, this is also from the specification, don't change that. Accelerometer, don't change that. LED, I think this is also from the project specification, and so you shouldn't change this. The length, what that just means is, you know, go 1 word of length from the start address, which is this. And this is the one part that is slightly different from the old MIPS emulator. For the old MIPS emulator, they supported sounds like this. You could say type sound here, but this would crash our programs, so this is the one thing you might have to look out for, because we don't support type sound yet. So for sound, we have it start at the start address, same as in the project, with a length of 1 word, but just map it with the type data memory, right? So again, pretty much nothing in this file has to change. For a basic project with just the mappings from project specification, and you just use this exact JSON file and don't change anything, and it'll work. All right, once you set all this up, which is just putting your 4 files in and then the JSON file, again, as shown previously, you can simply run the MIPS emulator command, or in Windows, run the java-jar command. Open that, and then navigate to your folder, and you see here that I've already opened it, so it's in my recents for me. So open that, and then the project will load up. And then using the, let's actually do this. I'm gonna have this open up on the side so we can see how it looks like in the simulator. So, right. And then if you press go, let's just pause right here. You can see that all the registers have their current values. Instruction memory, we can go to our, we see what instruction we're currently running. You can step through it if you want. Data memory, this is all the stuff in data memory. What I want to show is other memory, which has your values in screen memory, because it's mapped in here. And so you can see that since we said, oh, it starts at 1002, it's going to start at 1002 here, and this is your screen memory. And let's also do that for keyboard. Since we have keyboard maps, it'll start at 1003, and it'll show you the value at that address. And then finally, these ones are a little bit different, so I'll show these. If you map it as data memory, it's going to appear in other memory, and all that stuff is going to show up here. So for example, LED shows up at 1003.000C, and then sound would also show up in here. But this project doesn't have sound, so it's going to just say 0. So yeah, this is the basic configuration that is probably going to be, it's probably going to fit like 99% projects. And then maybe you want to add on top of that, maybe you have some extra data memory or other memory addresses that you're using. For example, if you're, let's go to here, this is going to be test projects Rubik's. This JSON has a few more mappings in it, maybe a lot more. So let's just focus on, maybe we want to map one, yeah, let's do this. So maybe you want to map just one RNG data memory or something. So to do that, you're just going to basically copy what we have for sound and LED, just copy that inside braces, and just paste it there. And you can simply give it the start address that you're using in your project, tell it the length, which is probably going to be 1. All of mine are length 1. Give it a name and type it as data memory. And then you can see it in the MIPS emulator. What I'll do now is open up the MIPS emulator again. And then let's do the Rubik's projects. This is me opening up the, that's me opening up the Rubik's.json file using the Rubik's memory stuff, which you can find on the GitHub page. I'll open that up. And then it's meant to have a black screen. If I press the letter U here, this is how you start the program. Just press the letter U. If we go to the other memory, you can see that this is all the stuff that we have mapped here. This is the sound, RNG, and whatever other stuff this is. If I go to other memory here, that's where you'll see all the values for all the other stuff at the correct memory addresses. And I guess for RNG, Yeah, RNG, I did it in Verilog, so this is always going to be 0 here. But if you were to do sound or something, let's actually do that. I can do that by doing this. And then in a couple of seconds here, this is going to show a sound value, and it will change right here. But it's actually going to take a few seconds. Right, there we go. And you can see that sound it has its current value. If I press go and pause really quick, it'll go to a different value. If I go to sound 2, because I had 2 sound registers, sound 2 has a different value. And there it goes, it changed to another value. And that's pretty much all you need to know to use the MIPS emulator.